All night long, we've been tracking severe weather across the Triad. You can see a few raindrops still on the cameras there in Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, and Burlington. Within the last few hours, some heavy rainfall and reports of hail caused some bad road conditions. This is video of what it looks like on Highway 29 around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Right now, we are still in the middle of a WFMY News 2 weather impact alert day. Meteorologist Claire Fry joins us. Claire, it looks like it's starting to move on out of here, though.
Yep, thanks so much, Ben. It is starting to move out with that severe risk dropping for us. We still are going to have our weather impact alert all the way through 12 o'clock tonight, with the line actually continuing to push through the area. A lot of us at this point are just receiving some really nice and helpful showers and even a couple of embedded thunderstorms across the area. Some still could be strong into the night tonight, and of course we'll continue to keep an eye on it, but the main threat actually now has shifted to our south. Still want you to keep on your notifications for tonight for those severe weather alerts, and if you're planning on heading out late tonight, make sure you have the rain gear with you and you're also ready and keeping steady on the roadways and making sure you're looking for ponding alongside the roads, because it really doesn't take much to hydroplane. We've been talking about the storm threats all through this afternoon and throughout the evening. So I kind of just wanted to dive into them with you guys one more time. Damaging winds really has been our primary threat with these severe and even just strong storms. We've seen some gusts today up to around 35 to 45 miles per hour across the area due to mixing all the way down to the surface with these strong storms. We've even seen a little bit of hail, particularly in Reedsville, about a pea-sized hail, but enough to put a couple dings in your car. A very low-end tornado threat that has now kind of shifted to our south. Plus, we're continuing to watch the risk for some flooding, especially in the areas that have already seen a lot of rainfall so far today. I did want to show you this here on the satellite and radar, and I'm going to kind of storm track with you. I'll bring in my computer here with us. That first line has now kind of passed through the area as of now. And we're continuing to track this second line that you can see kind of continuing to move into portions of South Carolina and also into Georgia. They actually put up a tornado risk well to our south and portions of South Carolina and into Georgia due to this second line, kind of hitting a lot of those ingredients for tornadoes and prompting these warnings across the region. I don't anticipate them being able to make it all the way into our area. We just don't have the atmospheric conditions really for these tornadoes to form. But of course, we'll continue to keep an eye on it into the night tonight. A look at the satellite and radar, more so for us in the Triad. We still have a couple of heavier spots, but you know what? At this point, it really is just much needed rainfall across the area, to be completely honest with you. And we're still seeing moderate to heavy rain. The first line continue to kind of push toward the east, right in portions of central Raleigh, right in Wake County toward Raleigh. And we're still seeing that pretty moderate to light rainfall also in portions of Randolph County, Montgomery, all through Caswell County, and also now in Alamance. A little bit earlier, I was talking about how you guys haven't gotten anything yet. So much needed rainfall for all of us throughout this afternoon and into this evening. Looks like a couple of pockets of heavier storms starting to make their way also through central North Carolina here toward Raleigh with a little bit of lightning. So that's really going to be the biggest thing with these storms, like we've been saying, is the damaging winds and also the lightning if they're able to form. To kind of show you a storm report just in the last 6 hours, this one's in Rockingham County. Description here, we did see thunderstorm winds that blew down one tree near the 200 block of Bald Hill Loop. That was just south of Highway 704. We've gotten a couple of these reports just within the last day, or the last couple of hours or so, as this system has continued to kind of push through the area. So that's something to be on the lookout for if you are planning on driving around tonight. Just be on the lookout for any sort of falling trees with some of these winds that could still be pretty gusty through tonight and into early tomorrow with the storm threat. And look right here on the live radar, these kind of showers are continuing to kind of put down a lot in a very short amount of time, pushing northeast between 25 to 35 miles per hour. We're still going to be seeing some rounds of heavy rainfall at times throughout the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. So of course, we're going to continue to keep an eye on the radar, but that severe level threat is diminishing for our area. We really just don't have the ingredients for it really anymore for us across the region. And I wanted to show you that here, just also not just from me, but also from our severe weather outlook page across the area. We're at a level 2, and now we are under a level 1, and they actually enhanced to our south a level 2, where they have some more ingredients for for severe weather across the region. We're kind of in that level 1 now range where, we could get a severe storm maybe, but odds are we're probably in the safe zone at this point in time. Tornado risk has also gone up to our south, where we have been seeing warnings these last several hours. So this is not surprising at all. Again, this is kind of well to our south, very, very southern North Carolina, but mainly just South Carolina and also in Georgia. Into the day tomorrow, as this system kind of continues to stall over the Carolinas, it's still going to pose a little bit of a threat towards central North Carolina in a level 1 out of 5. But for the most part, at that point, it really is just going to be some scattered showers across the area. Even for us into tomorrow morning, we're going to start to clear out. And by the afternoon, I really think we're going to start to see some sunshine, which is going to be great after a night like tonight with all of this rainfall, kind of nasty storms making their way in across the area. Rainfall so far today, we have been seeing much needed rainfall. It's kind of nice to give you some good amounts now, but the rain is still coming down. It's still going to be coming down in rounds in the next couple of hours and also into the day tomorrow, at least for the morning. Rainfall today over 1 inch so far in Winston-Salem. I've been telling you guys that a lot of places with these, really strong storms back to back in one location, like that line that we saw, you can kind of see that line of storms, that just kept forming and forming and forming right along the front. And it dumped a lot in Lexington here in Davidson County, almost at an inch, a little over an inch in Winston-Salem. But other counties like us here in Greensboro, we still got a decent amount, around over ½ an inch or so, over ½ an inch also in Reedsville and also in Asheboro. Starting to finally get some here in Alamance County, up to around ½ inch, ½ an inch there in Siler City. It'll be nice to see at the end of the night into tomorrow morning how much we got in total, but we really haven't had a good wash day like this in several weeks, and it really has put us in a drought for what we normally need to get for this time of year in the time and also in the location and season. Right now in Greensboro, we're in the lower 60s. This afternoon, we only made it into the low to middle 70s across the area, if you can believe it. I actually expected us to be right at around upper 70s, maybe around 80 degrees. Didn't quite get there. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that was pretty helpful because it wasn't a fuel to the fire, I would say, for these storms to be able to form. It kind of acts as fuel, daytime heating, to help storms form and kind of continue across the area. So making it only in the 70s today ended up, I think, being pretty beneficial. Lower 60s for right now, still lots of low-level clouds, overcast conditions. Winds out of the southeast around 5 to 10 miles per hour. High point right now, we're still in the lower 60s. Visibility looks pretty low right now across the area. Temperatures are mainly in the 60s, 62 in Greensboro, 62 also in Asheboro. And you can start to see where, that rain is finally starting to make it to portions of central North Carolina here in Wake County, right there toward Raleigh. They were in the upper 70s just a couple of hours ago, but now that we've started to see more and more rain kind of hit and impact their area, it's cooling their atmosphere and dropping their temperatures fairly quickly. Highest wind gusts that we've seen so far today in some of these storms, mainly in the 30 to 45 mile per hour range. 36 was our highest in Greensboro, where we did see that one just a couple of hours ago kind of rock through the area, bringing in lots of thunder and wind gusts and cloud to ground lightning. 20 to 35 though for the majority of the area. Wind gusts across the area right now, not looking too bad. 20 right now with those storms currently making their way through Raleigh. But for the most part, starting to calm down these next couple of hours. And this is that stalled front that's going to continue to stall heading into the next couple of hours, especially by tomorrow. It's going to kind of stick around, and due to that, we could be seeing an isolated shower or two for the morning, but by the afternoon, I am expecting us to dry out a little bit across the area, and especially by the time we're into early next week. A look at our Futurecast again, next several hours. We are going to be keeping tabs on the radar with that next line kind of continuing to push its way toward the area early into tomorrow. I really think by around 6 or 7 a.m., that's when we really start to clear out across the area. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see sunshine later into the morning for tomorrow, despite a little bit of clouds hanging out with that stalled system. I really think maybe an isolated shower or two possible by the afternoon and evening, but for the most part, we are going to be drier with more sunshine. One closer look also at the Futurecast, you could see just by around 1 or 2 o'clock, again, that main line starting to make its way through the area. This is when you may hear a rumble of thunder or two, maybe in your sleep. This would be the only line that I would be maybe a little bit concerned about, but we really don't have much instability in the atmosphere for these these guys over here, these storms to work with by that time early into the morning. So I'm not too much concerned about that. Really out of the area by around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. By the time we're heading into the morning, it's going to be nice in the 60s. In the afternoon, we're going to be back into the 70s. Rain potential was pretty much right on the nose. This was actually up just earlier today, showing up to around an inch or so. Some areas receiving even more than that. And so far, that's proven to be true. This is the latest drought monitor that I have been talking about. We get new released drought monitors every Thursday, and this moderate tan right here, a level 2 out of 5, has actually expanded across the area. We were under a level 1, which means abnormally dry, but we've gone a step worse, which means, you know, in very short, that we need some rain across the area. So it is really, really beneficial that we've been seeing these kind of tally up just these last several hours. And you know what? These next couple of days, we are going to start to dry out across the area, mainly dry for Monday and Tuesday. We're going to be back in the mid to upper 70s through Tuesday and Wednesday. Beautiful week ahead of us with very isolated showers kind of returning into the forecast for Thursday and into Friday. With those showers, we're going to be just slightly cooler by the time we're into the weekend in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Ben?
We can definitely use that beautiful weather. After all the rain today caused some cancellations in the Triad. That includes the Kevin Powell Motorsports 100 being postponed at Bowman Gray. We will continue to have you covered throughout the entire weather threat throughout the morning as well, with live extended coverage right here on WFMY Plus all night. And coming up at 11 o'clock, Claire will be back to check the radar one more time. A Mebane man is accused of a number of sex crimes. Deputies say 58-year-old Raymond Wargo Jr. is being charged with 10 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. This investigation started last November with the Invictus Task Force saying they got a tip. Wargo Jr. was arrested yesterday. He's being held on a $300,000 bond and is set to appear in court on Monday. The final funeral for the 4 linemen killed in Eden, and that big crash happened today. Loved ones laid Matthew Lockwood to rest. Before working as a lineman, he served our country as a Marine. Family told us he was kind, humble, and made an impact on everyone he met. The City of Eden driver accused of hitting and killing the 4 linemen lost his job yesterday. The city says it fired Michael Vernon along with the public works superintendent. Vernon faces several charges after Highway Patrol says he ran a stop sign, then slammed into 6 linemen. Troopers also say the driver did not have a CDL license. We pushed the city leaders several times for an explanation about how one of their drivers did not have proper paperwork. It deferred us to the NTSB. In a statement, the city attorney wrote, "The city is committed to remaining a cooperating party with the NTSB and all other investigatory agencies. Questions media have about the investigation should be directed to the NTSB in accordance with their policies." Today, dozens of people demonstrated outside of Senator Thom Tillis's Greensboro office, saying they were showing their disapproval with some of President Donald Trump's policies and Tillis not speaking up. More than 100 people gathered holding signs on Northline Avenue near the Friendly Center. Similar protests have happened across the country opposing the Trump administration cuts.
This is a time with so many changes in our country that it calls for citizens to speak up and to be willing to come out and stand up for their rights and for democracy and for all the federal programs and agencies that are being cut.
We reached out to Tillis's office for comment but have not heard back. This isn't the first time we've seen a protest outside Tillis's Greensboro office. Protesters have also complained that they've had trouble getting in touch with him. As we reported, some Capitol Hill offices have been overwhelmed with calls since Trump returned to power. At one point, lawmakers were getting 1,500 calls every single minute. A 25% tax on imported vehicles and auto parts is now in effect. In an attempt to soften the blow of the new tariffs, the Trump administration announced it will spare auto parts from what are so-called double tariffs. That means there were tariffs on the metal to make the part when it came into the country, and then the part itself. Trump says in the long run, the tariffs should create more factories in America. Now, coming up at 11, we're going to look at the impact of tariffs on Triad businesses, find out how many have been able to keep their prices about the same for now, and when they could change tonight at 11. We are just days away from the Real ID deadline, and if you've been to the DMV lately, you've probably seen the long lines just like this. One viewer submitted this video from the location on East Market Street in Greensboro this morning. You can see the line just never ending, wrapping around the building there. The DMV says it's working hard to meet the needs so people can avoid the lines. At the same time, the DMV asks that anyone that doesn't need a real ID just wait a few months.
To ask that you would wait a little while so we can get people served that don't already have a passport or something like that. We're doing as much as we can with the staff that we have to get people what they need in the time frame that they need it.
The DMV also says a lot of folks are going in person for stuff that can be done easier online, which clogs up the offices. And coming up tonight on WFMY News 2 at 11, we verify where you will and won't need one of these real IDs. Find out how you'll be impacted even if you don't have a trip planned soon. That's tonight on WFMY News 2 at 11. We'll see you then.